Hey everybody, a thought, on this sequestration thing that's happening today. It is March 1st, 2013. So we've got this sequestration thing happening, right? What does it mean? It's this minor amount of spending cuts that are automatically triggered because of failure to negotiate a proper deal to fund them. That's the story that we're told that it is. And maybe it is that simple. What it means for sure is that it's this embarrassing little cornerstone for those, who would sit there and say we must have these things, and yet we must have everything, allegedly. And for some strange reason, the money's not there. I mean, you have to remember, we're in the process of this QE3 thing, ongoing QE3 by Ben Bernanke. This money, money is still coming in and coming in and coming in. But at the end of the day, a deal just hasn't been made. It's who's it really going to affect? I don't know. Allegedly, it's going to affect Department of Homeland Security and the TSA in a significant way. It'll affect a little bit of the military in a significant way, allegedly. And for the most part, that's all I've really heard with absolute certainty. And so much is hearsay anyway. It's kind of disgusting when you think about it. The fact that nobody's saying. They're not telling people in the TSA what's going to happen because they want them to show up to work. It's literally that bad. They want people to show up to work, so they're not getting any particular access to what's going to happen to their paycheck, what's going to happen to their benefits, or anything else. But something is, quote-unquote, supposed to happen. So mum's the word on that. And it's embarrassing for the government. So I do not believe that all of these budget talks or whatever, they're utilizing them in a PSYOP manner, because they're going to utilize everything in a PSYOP manner. That does not mean that what they're using in a PSYOP manner is in and of itself a PSYOP. I believe it is not. I just think they're using the tools just to cover their ass because, it's getting real close to the time that they realize that they screwed people, and that people are going to attack them for it in some way, shape, or form. Which of course ties into the gun argument. So, the point is that I think that this is a test. I think that they set this up at the beginning of the year with the fiscal cliff debate, and said, let's see what happens if we have X amount of services on both sides kind of drop a little bit, where government still functions, and see how the public reacts. And I think that's the real PSYOP going on here. I think that's why they're going to allow things to drop. Maybe not everything. Maybe at the last minute they will save one or two things, but not everything. And they'll see how the public reacts to that, both politically and just socially in general. Mainly politically, because, I guess it's all political, right? From this point moving forward, who's going to have the better argument? How well received is it all going to be? The cuts are going to come, and either people are going to like the true fiscal conservative way of doing things, or the true socialist way of doing things. It's one of those decision points for a lot of people. That's why our voice, for those of us that are much more inclined to free market economics, that see the sense in a specie-based economy, something that's more aligned to Austrian economics, if not actual Austrian economics, have to keep piping up, because what they don't want is people thinking about solutions that do not involve them. They are just vetting for their own jobs. That's a major part of the PSYOP, and it's a natural byproduct of that. Right now these guys are all being handed pink slips, in effect, and they're not receiving the pink. It's like, no, I don't want that pink slip. No. They don't want to take it. They don't want to admit that nobody wants to hire their services anymore. They are the exterminator that keeps showing up, and they keep trying to put cockroaches in your bed so that way they can come in and say you have a cockroach problem. And it's getting much, much more expensive to set up the cockroaches than it is to actually make the profit off of exterminating the cockroaches, especially because they've robbed the client of so much money in the first place. But now they're going for their physical assets and not their liquid assets. Liquid assets would literally be your spending cash, your disposable income. That's your liquid assets. Anything that doesn't have to be dedicated to bills and taxes. Well, to bills, really, in the private sector, because then the rest is all taxes, because we're talking about a government entity doing this versus a private entity. It would be the other way around if I wasn't using a metaphor and I was literally saying it was like a cockroach service. But then again, you give the EPA enough time and they will steal that business from Billy the Exterminator anyway. That's how fucked up it is. All right? So, I don't know any of this for a fact. This is just my musing. If you know for a fact that I'm wrong and you can prove it and tell us what's actually going on, please add to the thread. And please don't troll. I'm just trying to help. All right? Take care.